Hey guys, it's Chris. Welcome back to my channel. I'm doing a video that's kind of a little different today. It is a BU video, and I'm actually doing this sort of it's sort of a collaboration with Jessica. Her channel is Be Who You Want 92, and of course I will post her information down below. She will not be doing a video on this, but we came up with the idea because I'm really inspired by her channel. She is such a great girl, and she does a lot of these sort of inspirational videos and talks about life experiences and that kind of stuff. So I told her that I wanted to get in on this and do something, and she asked what did I want to do, and I said I wanted to do something on the topic be strong. So what my video is going to be about is basically one of my life experiences, and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about it. It is very personal. It could be a trigger for some people, so it has to do with self-harm. So if that's something that triggers you, then please click out of this because I know how that goes. But anyway, so my experience, I'll just give you a little background. When I was about, let me see, I want to say about 25, 26, maybe even 30, I was really self-harming a lot, and I'm gonna post a picture somewhere in this video to show you scars I have to prove it. And it was on a daily basis. And it was really the only thing. I was in a deep, deep depression, and it was really the only thing that made me feel better. And I know a lot of people kind of confuse self-harm with suicide, and it's not at all. It's a totally different entity altogether. I never wanted to kill myself or anything like that at that point in my life, and it was just a matter of being so depressed and being so caught in your how do I put this, so caught in your own mind that you almost couldn't feel anything. So in order to feel anything, like a good example is like I would never be able to cry ever. Like even if I was super, super sad, like say somebody died, like I wouldn't be able to cry. The only time I would be able to cry is if I cut myself and literally saw blood. And I know it sounds crazy, but bear with me. Those of you who've been through it, I'm sure will be able to identify. It was a release. And anybody who talks about self-harm, if you've ever been in therapy for it or read anything about it, that's basically what it is. It's a way to feel a release of some sort. And with me, it was release of emotions kind of thing. And I could like breathe again, and I could cry and that kind of stuff. So, this went on for quite a few years, and I really had the attitude that I wasn't hurting anybody, at all. Like, it's my body, and I was doing this, and, who was I hurting? I wasn't hurting anybody else. I wasn't, cutting anybody else. I wasn't, being violent towards anybody else, that kind of thing. And I really felt this way very, very strongly, even when I got into therapy. I went into group therapy, and they kept trying to tell me, no, Chris, you're hurting your family members, you're hurting people who love you. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm doing this in the privacy of my own room or bathroom or whatever. It was so bad. It was to the point where my tool of choice was an X-Acto knife, and because they're small and compact and I could keep it in my purse, and even on days that I didn't use it, it was there. So it was sort of like a crutch to me, you know. It's almost like you carry around a Band-Aid in case, you know, you get a cut. That's what it was to me. You know, almost like a person who has anxiety or something, maybe they carry around some anti-anxiety medication or something like that. So I was really, really, really resistant to the idea that I was hurting anybody else but myself. And then I had a incident happen with a boyfriend, and it wasn't anything really, really major, you know. It was I don't know. We don't really need to get into that, but it was just like a fight, breakup kind of thing. You know, hey, it happens all the time, right? Like, what's the big deal? And I went into my bedroom and I cut. And my daughter, who I want to say was like maybe 14, 15 at the time, something like that, came in and tried to take the X-Acto knife from me. And I was in such a state of just, you know, going at it that it was almost like, okay, like, I'll give this up, just let me do one more. And, you know, she was grabbing my hand, and it was pretty brutal. And so I cut one more time, and because it was in such a hurried sort of state, I cut really, really, really deep, to the point where I really did need stitches. I didn't end up getting them. I ended up going to the store, getting some steri strips, and bandaging it up myself, which it healed really, really bad. And she after that happened, she's like, I didn't even realize at that point how bad I had cut myself. But she took the X-Acto knife and threw it at me and told me to fuck off. And went in her room, started sobbing. And at that point, I realized, wow. Like, it kind of hit me all at once. Like, therapy and therapy and therapy, and people telling me, oh, you're not hurting anybody else. That kind of just, it just all hit me. And it was that aha moment, that, like, oh my God kind of thing. And I went in to her room, tried to apologize. Of course, she didn't want to talk to me. She didn't talk to me for days. And I went to therapy. I told them what the situation was, what had happened. And after a couple days, her and I sat down, and I told her I was done, that it was never, ever going to happen again. I promised, and that was it. And that was the last day. And that was about, let me see, I mean, it's got to be 10 years, 14 years now. And I've been self-harm free. And I know for a lot of people, it doesn't happen that easily. Not that that was easy, because it wasn't easy. It was horrific to see my daughter's face, and to just, it was horrific. And, but it was that aha moment. It was that moment that opened up my eyes, and I said, no more. And I made that promise to her. And when I make a promise, especially to my kids, to, you know, loved ones, I take that very seriously. So yeah, so it's been like 14, 15 years, something to that effect, and never went back. Never had the urge. I shouldn't say that. You know, yes, soon after there were urges, but it just wasn't worth it. It just was not worth it. I mean, I could have absolutely lost my relationship with my daughter at that point, and it would have been my own fault. And hearing the therapists at that point saying, you're hurting others, you're not just hurting yourself, it was like a light bulb went off, and I was like, wow. You know what I mean? I am. Now, I could have made excuses and said, well, yeah, but if she wasn't in the room, yeah, if she hadn't come in, it just wasn't worth it. It wasn't. And I had to learn all new coping skills and, things to do to, but that really aha moment was really what, they talk about alcoholics and how you have to hit rock bottom. And that was my rock bottom. And it just stopped from there. But the point of this message is to stay strong. I wanted to tell you guys my story, as personal as it is, just so you guys know, like I normally do on my channel, that I want you to know you're not alone. You're never alone. As alone as you feel, I know all of us have been there where we've sat in our room and we've said, we're alone. You don't understand. Nobody understands. But people do. People are there. People are there to help you. You have to want the help. And now, as far as, that goes, like I said, that it doesn't cross my mind anymore. I mean, I still have scars and I still have reminders. I'm covering them with tattoos, but I'm turning something ugly into something beautiful. And that's one of the reasons I started getting my sleeves, was to cover the scars. And I really wanted to turn something ugly in my life into something beautiful. And that's why a lot of people ask me about my tattoos, ask me the meanings. And that's part of the meanings of my tattoos, is that, you can't see the scars. They are covered. I mean, like I said, I have a picture where you can see them, but in general, if you saw me in person, and I pointed them out, you'd be able to see them, but in general, you can't see them. So this video is about staying strong. We have so many things that happen in our life and we don't feel strong, and you know what? Sometimes you have to look outward. Sometimes it's not always about being strong inside. Sometimes it's about being strong for other people. And then when you're strong for other people, your brain sort of does a reset and you realize you're stronger than you think you are. And so I just urge everybody that if you have issues like this, don't go it alone. Just don't go it alone. It's not worth it. You are hurting other people. You are. I know this is going to be a controversial topic, especially if there's people watching who were in my same mindset saying, hey, I'm not hurting anybody but myself, like whatever, and I felt I deserved it. I really felt I deserved it. So, when you're in that mindset, you don't care. And I felt like a bad person. I felt useless. I felt worthless. I felt alone. I felt nothing. Like I felt all these things. I felt all these things and nothing all at once, if that makes any sense. I don't know if this is going to make any sense. It might sound totally crazy to a lot of you. But maybe some of you get it. Maybe some of you get feeling a lot of things, but feeling alone at the same time. Or feeling nothing at the same time. I don't know. I can just tell you how I felt at the time. And there's always ways to be strong. Count your breaths. Like, just sit there and breathe. Take a breath. You're living. You're breathing. In 2011, I know I've discussed this before, but for anybody who's new, I lost 3 loved ones in the course of 6 months. I lost my cousin, we were raised as sisters, and at the age of 43, she was 43, she died of colon and liver cancer, and we only had her 6 months from diagnosis. And like last year was really like the first year I could talk about it without crying. I miss her every single day, and she lived her life amazingly. Like, she was just such a wonderful, not that it should ever happen to anybody, but 2011 really changed my life. I looked at things in a whole nother light, and now I am strong. I live my life in love. I try to be the best person that I can be. I go to sleep at night knowing I can sleep at night, knowing I'm a good person. You know, I mean, not everyone's gonna like me. That's just life, you know? It would be nice, but it's not all rainbows and unicorns. But I can lay my head on my pillow and know that I'm a good person. And part of that is to start living for others. I know a lot of people say you got to live for yourself, you can't live for others. And to an extent, I absolutely agree with that. I absolutely do agree with that. Nobody else can make you happy but you. You have to do it. Nobody, you could blame everybody in the world about your problems, your money problems, your boyfriend problems, your husband problems, whatever, you know, your work problems, whatever the issue may be. But nobody can change that but you. This is a saying that I know probably drives people crazy. When I say it, you're gonna probably be like, ugh. But I love, and when I was in therapy, it drove me nuts. But it is what it is, and nothing changes if nothing changes. And they used to say that all the time to me, and I'd be like, oh my God, like, just, you know, like, what the hell does that mean? But if you really think about it, it is what it is. Things don't need to be fair. Things don't need to be, you know, go your way all the time. It's not going to happen. It's called life. That's the way it works. But and nothing changes if nothing changes. If you don't change it, it's not going to change. You can't sit on your couch and moan and feel sorry for yourself. And I mean, of course you can, but I'm just saying nothing's going to change. If you're in a bad relationship, that bad relationship is not going to change just by you wishing it to. I've been there. It doesn't happen that way. Tried it, doesn't work. You know, job, if there's a problem, you need to face these things head on, and you need to step up. You need to do something to change it, to make it better, because nobody's going to hand it to you on a silver platter. It doesn't work that way. You know, what do they say? Anything worth having is worth fighting for, worth working for, working towards. It's so true. So anyway, I want to give a big shout out to Jessica. I love her to death. And again, I will post her channel down below. And I want to thank her for giving me this outlet to do this video. Like I said, it was going to be a collab, but, you know, she doesn't want to get that personal. I get it. It's fine. Not an issue. But I asked her, can I still do it? And she said, sure, absolutely. And she would, you know, link it and on her channel and all that other stuff. But it's not really, like I said, that's not why I'm doing it. It just, her channel inspires me to think about certain things. And so, like I said, I will post pictures up below, up above, and just be strong, guys. And I know it's so hard, but like I said, if you can't do it for yourself, do it for your loved ones, because everybody has them. Even if you think you don't, you do. You're not alone. I am here. I am here speaking to you. You guys know I love my subscribers. I love you guys like your family. It's crazy. It's so weird how YouTube can do this. And I never thought I would get to this point where I would get subscribers that I really feel are my family. Like, when I say welcome to my YouTube family, like, I really mean it. You guys mean so much to me. And I just want to take this opportunity too to thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you guys for watching my videos, for commenting, for giving them a thumbs up, for sharing them, whatever the deal is. If I can help one person, then my channel's like successful. I mean, that's all there is to say about it. So Post down below, guys, what, you know, you don't have to give me any personal stuff. If you don't want to give me any personal stuff, I get it. You know what I mean? I totally, absolutely get it. But post down below anything that you do to stay strong. Because you never know, that comment that you make down below could help somebody else. You know, I know that I had a therapist who was so great. Unfortunately, he moved on and to another job, and he's the first person, I think the first therapist I ever had that could say stuff to me in a certain way where I would go, you know that moment that we have? I've been in therapy since, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't lie, and you guys know I'm really open and honest, and I've been in therapy since I was 18 years old, 19 years old, and in and out of therapy, and for different reasons or whatever, but basically constantly since then. And he really had a way of speaking that if someone else said it, it would probably just go right over my head because I'm in my brain, I'm in my moment, like whatever, you know, you hear blah, 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 you know. But he would say stuff to me like, just a good example. I have bad anxiety, as you guys probably know. And as I was approaching my 38th birthday, I think my 38th birthday, my father had his first heart attack at the age of 38. And he had his first bypass, at 40, and he's still alive and kicking, and he's doing really well. 2 bypasses later, but he's really doing well. But I had so much anxiety turning the age he was when he had his first heart attack. So my panic and anxiety would manifest itself in, oh my God, I'm having a heart attack, right? And so I sat down with my therapist one day, and I won't divulge his name, but he was so funny. He said to me, so I relayed this to him, you know, and I said, oh my God, my 38th birthday's coming up, and I'm just, oh my God, like I don't know what my problem is. I'm so anxiety ridden, and I'm having panic attacks every day, twice a day, 3 times a day. They're crazy, like they're almost like back to back to back, ongoing. And I was living this way for months and months and months. And how someone can live that way for months and months and months, I don't know. And not have something give out, I have no idea, but I was. And he said, well, why? What's the deal? And I said, well, my dad had his first heart attack at the age of 38. And like, I really, like when these come on, that's what I feel. I feel like, oh my God, I'm having an anxiety attack. Like, I'm having a heart attack. That's it. Like, I'm not, like my dad had one at 38. I'm having one, you know? And he said to me, it makes me laugh now, right? But at the time it wasn't funny, but now it makes me laugh. He goes, Chris, if your father won the lotto at the age of 38, does that mean you're going to win the lotto at the age of 38? I'm like, no, probably not. He's like, what are the chances? I'm like, slim to none. He goes, yeah, it's kind of the same thing. And him just saying that made me think to myself, I've been suffering for months and months and months, and I go, he's right. He's right. Like, it's so crazy how our brains work. But he was absolutely right. And after that, I was okay, you know? I mean, I still suffer, but it wasn't as like, as it was, you know, on a daily basis. And it was just crazy. Like, so that's what I'm saying is even a comment like that, post down below, guys. What do you guys do to stay strong? Because you never know. That comment, someone can read it and have that aha moment that we're all looking for. So, guys, stay strong. I love you all, honestly. You guys know you can post below. Most of you know me on Facebook. You can send me a message. I'm always here to talk to. And I just really love you guys. And Jess, thank you so much for giving me this outlet and letting me do this video and supporting me in doing this video. And stay strong, guys. Love you.